Have you noticed that your legs feel heavy and tired even after a short walk? Or that your knees and ankles are so stiff in the morning that it takes you a good 20 minutes just to feel like yourself again? That heaviness, that tingling, that deep aching in your joints that just won't quit. That is not simply a normal part of getting older. And I want you to hear that clearly because millions of seniors across America have been told to just accept it, to slow down, to take another pill, and that is simply not the whole story. There is something specific happening inside your blood vessels and your joints that most doctors don't take the time to fully explain. And today we are going to change that because there is one natural oil that has been quietly sitting in American kitchens and health stores for decades. And science is now confirming what traditional medicine has known for a long time, that this oil can genuinely transform the way blood moves through your legs and the way your joints feel every single morning. I'm Dr. Sarah Brooks. I've been practicing medicine for over 20 years, and today I dedicate my work entirely to helping seniors live healthier, longer lives. I've sat across from thousands of patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who came to me frustrated, discouraged, and tired of feeling limited by their own bodies. And what I've learned over all these years is that the right natural approach, backed by real science and applied consistently, can make a remarkable difference. And today I'm going to share exactly that with you. Now, before we go any further, I want you to know something important. If you are watching this right now and you recognize what I just described, the heavy legs, the stiff joints, the swelling around the ankles at the end of the day, you are not alone in this, not even close. According to data from the American Heart Association, poor circulation in the lower extremities affects tens of millions of Americans over the age of 60, and arthritis and joint stiffness affect more than half of all adults over 65 in the United States. Half. That means if you are sitting in your living room right now watching this, the chances are very high that someone in your family, someone on your street, someone at your church or your community center is dealing with the exact same thing. And the reason I want you to know that is not to alarm you, but to help you understand that this is a real, documented physiological problem that has real, documented, natural solutions. And one of the most powerful ones comes in the form of an oil that most of you probably already have some version of in your home. In just a moment, I am going to reveal exactly which oil I am talking about, how it works inside your body, and 3 specific ways you can start using it today. But first, I need to tell you something about what is actually happening in your legs and joints that is causing all of this discomfort. Because once you understand the mechanism, everything else makes perfect sense. Your legs are the farthest point from your heart, which means that blood has to travel the longest distance to get there and back again. When you are young and your arteries and veins are flexible and strong, that is not a problem. The blood moves easily, the valves in your veins work properly, and your legs feel light and energized. But as we age, a few things start to happen simultaneously. The walls of your blood vessels begin to lose some of their elasticity, which means they don't expand and contract as efficiently as they used to. Inflammation begins to build up inside those vessels, narrowing the space through which blood can flow. And the tiny capillaries, those microscopic vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients right into your tissues, start to become less efficient, which is why your legs can feel cold, numb, or tingly, even when you haven't been sitting still for very long. At the same time, inside your joints, something similar is happening. The synovial fluid that lubricates your knees, hips, and ankles begins to decrease in volume and quality. The cartilage that cushions those joints starts to thin out, and chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind that doesn't cause a fever or obvious swelling, but quietly damages tissue over years, begins to affect the joint lining, which is why so many seniors wake up in the morning feeling like their knees and ankles have been filled with cement overnight. That morning, stiffness, that need to slowly warm up before you can walk normally, is a direct result of that overnight inflammatory process, and it is something that can be meaningfully improved with the right natural intervention. And here is where our oil comes in. But before I tell you exactly what it is, I want you to hit that thumbs up button right now if any of this sounds familiar to you, because this video is going to help not just you, but every senior who finds it through your support. And it truly means so much to be able to reach people who need this information. The oil I'm talking about is castor oil. And I know some of you are nodding right now because You remember your grandmother keeping a bottle of it in the bathroom cabinet? And some of you may be surprised because castor oil has a reputation mostly as a digestive remedy. But what most people don't know is that when it is applied externally, directly to the skin over the legs and joints, castor oil does something truly remarkable at the cellular level. And the science behind it is fascinating and worth understanding. Castor oil is extracted from the seeds of the Ricinus communis plant, and it is extraordinarily rich in a compound called ricinoleic acid, which makes up roughly 90% of its fatty acid content. Now, ricinoleic acid is not found in significant quantities in any other natural oil, which makes castor oil genuinely unique. And what ricinoleic acid does in the body is something that pharmaceutical researchers have been studying intensively because it acts as a potent natural anti inflammatory agent by binding to specific receptors in the body, the same receptors that many prescription anti inflammatory drugs target, which means that when you apply castor oil to your skin, the ricinoleic acid absorbs through the dermal layers and begins to reduce inflammatory signaling in the underlying tissues, including the blood vessel walls and the joint lining. But that is not all it does. Castor oil is also one of the most viscous natural oils available, which means it has an incredible ability to penetrate deeply into skin tissue rather than just sitting on the surface the way lighter oils do. And this deep penetration allows it to reach the fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around your muscles and joints, where it helps to soften and hydrate tissue that has become stiff and restricted over time. Think of it like this: if your joints and the tissue around them are like dried out leather that has become rigid and cracked, castor oil is like a deep conditioning treatment that restores flexibility and suppleness to that tissue from the inside out. And for circulation specifically, research has shown that the topical application of castor oil stimulates lymphatic drainage, which is the system your body uses to remove waste products and excess fluid from tissues. When your lymphatic system is sluggish, which it commonly becomes as we age and as we become less physically active, fluid builds up in the tissues of the lower legs, causing that characteristic heaviness and swelling that so many seniors notice by the end of the day. Castor oil's ability to stimulate lymphatic flow means that it helps your body drain that excess fluid more efficiently, which reduces swelling, improves circulation, and leaves your legs feeling genuinely lighter. I remember a patient of mine, a 73-year-old woman named Margaret from outside of Nashville, Tennessee, who came to see me because she had gotten to the point where she could barely make it through her grocery shopping at Walmart without needing to stop and rest because her legs felt so heavy and swollen. She had tried compression stockings, she had tried elevating her feet at night, and while those things helped a little, she was still really struggling. I told her about castor oil packs for the legs, a simple technique I'm going to walk you through in detail in just a moment. And she called my office 6 weeks later to tell me that she had gone back to her morning walks in the park for the first time in 2 years. That is the kind of result that keeps me passionate about sharing this kind of information. Now, let me give you the first practical application. And this is what I call Dr. Brooks's leg circulation protocol. And it is something you can start tonight with ingredients you can find at any CVS, Walgreens, or Walmart across the country. For the basic circulation massage, you will need 1 bottle of pure cold-pressed castor oil. You want to make sure it is hexane-free, which simply means it was processed without harsh chemical solvents. And most major health brands at Walmart or Whole Foods will say this on the label. You will also need a pair of old cotton socks that you don't mind getting a little oily. Here is what you do. Before bed, sit comfortably in your chair or on the edge of your bed and pour about a tablespoon of castor oil into your palm. And I know it feels thick and unusual at first, but stay with me. Begin massaging it into your feet, starting at the toes, working your way up toward the ankle, and then the calf, using slow, firm, upward strokes, always moving in the direction of your heart because this follows the direction of venous blood flow and helps encourage circulation back toward the chest. Spend about 3 to 4 minutes on each leg, really working the oil into the skin around the ankle and the back of the calf, where circulation tends to be most sluggish. Then put on your cotton socks and go to bed. The warmth of your body throughout the night will help the oil absorb deeply into the tissue. And in the morning, you will notice your skin feels softer, and many people notice their legs feel lighter and less stiff than usual. Do this 3 to 4 nights per week consistently, and within 2 to 3 weeks, you should begin to notice a meaningful difference. Now, that is the basic protocol, and it is a wonderful starting point. But I want to take you deeper because there is an enhanced version of this that produces even more powerful results, and it involves something called a castor oil pack, which sounds more complicated than it actually is. If you want access to my complete written guide for this protocol, along with detailed instructions for all three methods I am sharing today, consider becoming a member of this channel because I share extended health guides, home remedy protocols, and in depth content exclusively for our members that goes even further than what I can cover in a single video. And I think you will find it tremendously valuable. But right now, let me walk you through the castor oil pack method because this is the one that produces the most dramatic results for joint stiffness. And I want you to have this information today. For a castor oil pack, you will need your cold pressed castor oil, a piece of flannel cloth. You can buy a pre-cut flannel pack online, or simply cut a piece from an old flannel shirt, something about 12 inches by 12 inches, and a heating pad set to low or medium. Soak the flannel in castor oil until it is saturated but not dripping, then place it directly over your knee, hip, or whichever joint is giving you the most trouble. Cover it with a thin towel to protect your heating pad, then place the heating pad on top and leave it there for 45 minutes to an hour while you relax, watch television, or listen to the radio. The heat opens your pores and drives the ricinoleic acid deeper into the joint tissue. And the anti inflammatory effect you get from this combination of heat and castor oil is something that many of my patients describe as the first real relief they have felt in years. You can do this daily for the first 2 weeks and then 3 times per week as a maintenance protocol. I had another patient, a 78-year-old retired school teacher named Harold from rural Minnesota, who had severe knee stiffness that made it difficult for him to get up from a chair without pushing himself up with both hands. His daughter had started watching videos about natural remedies and told him about castor oil packs, and he came to me a little skeptical but willing to try. After 3 weeks of daily castor oil packs on both knees, he told me he was getting up from his recliner without using his hands for the first time in 4 years. And what made him most emotional was not even the physical improvement. It was that he could get down on the floor and play with his grandchildren again and get back up by himself. That is what this is really about. It is not just about managing symptoms, it is about getting your life back. Now, I want to come back to something I mentioned earlier about inflammation because understanding this piece is going to help you get even more out of everything I am sharing today. Chronic low-grade inflammation is the common thread running through poor circulation, joint stiffness, swelling, and the pain that comes with all of these things. And while castor oil applied topically is a powerful tool, combining it with specific anti-inflammatory foods and habits amplifies the results dramatically. And this is where we move into the second major solution I want to share with you today. If any of this has been helpful so far, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely helps us reach more seniors who are dealing with these exact issues, and it takes just a second of your time. The second solution involves something that many Americans already have in their kitchen, and it pairs beautifully with the castor oil protocol, and that is extra virgin olive oil taken internally. Now, I want to be very specific here because not all olive oil is the same, and the difference matters enormously. Extra virgin olive oil, particularly when it is cold pressed and consumed raw, contains a compound called oleocanthal, which researchers at the Monell Chemical Senses Center in Philadelphia discovered has a remarkably similar anti-inflammatory mechanism to ibuprofen. Yes, the over-the-counter pain reliever, except it works gently and naturally without the gastrointestinal side effects that ibuprofen can cause, which is a significant concern for seniors because long-term use of NSAIDs like ibuprofen has been linked to stomach ulcers, kidney stress, and cardiovascular complications. According to research published in leading nutrition journals, consuming 2 to 3 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil daily can significantly reduce circulating markers of inflammation in the body, which over time translates to less joint pain, better vascular function, and improved blood flow throughout the extremities. The key is consistency. This is not a one-time fix, but a daily habit that builds protective benefits over weeks and months. And the beautiful thing is that it fits perfectly into the American diet because olive oil is something most of us already cook with and enjoy. For maximum benefit, I recommend what I call the Mediterranean morning ritual for my senior patients. Every morning before breakfast, take 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You can find excellent quality options at Costco, Trader Joe's, or Whole Foods, and mix it with a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. Some people prefer to just take it straight from the spoon, which is completely fine. But the lemon juice makes it more palatable and also adds vitamin C, which supports collagen production in your joint cartilage and blood vessel walls. Do this every single morning on an empty stomach for 30 days and pay attention to how your joints feel when you wake up, because the reduction in morning stiffness that many people experience is genuinely striking. And here is something that will make this even more effective: pairing your olive oil morning ritual with a simple warm water and ginger routine. Ginger root contains compounds called gingerols and shogols that have been extensively studied for their ability to inhibit inflammatory pathways in the body. And a 2015 study published in the journal Osteoarthritis and Cartilage found that ginger extracts significantly reduced pain and disability in patients with knee osteoarthritis. You can find fresh ginger root at virtually any grocery store in America: Kroger, Publix, HEB, Safeway, and preparing it is simple. Take a 1 inch piece of fresh ginger, peel it, slice it thinly, and steep it in hot water for 10 minutes. Then sip it slowly. Do this every morning alongside your olive oil ritual, and you are creating a powerful daily anti inflammatory routine that works from the inside out while your castor oil is working from the outside in. Now, I want to take a moment here because we are about halfway through what I have to share with you today, and I want to ask you something directly. Are you already using any of these: castor oil, olive oil, ginger, for your circulation or joint health? Write in the comments right now and let me know, because your experience and your story could truly help someone else who is watching this video right now and wondering whether any of this actually works. Your voice matters here, and I read these comments personally because knowing what is working for real people in the real world makes me better at helping my patients every single day. Now, let me take you to the third and most powerful solution, the one that ties everything together and that I save for patients who are really serious about making a lasting change. And this involves a combination approach that I have developed over years of working with seniors who have struggled with poor circulation and joint pain. And it starts with something that most people completely underestimate, which is the power of warmth and movement working together with the oils we have already discussed. Here in America, we tend to think of health interventions as things we take: pills, supplements, foods. But one of the most powerful things you can do for circulation in your legs and stiffness in your joints is a technique I call the warm oil mobilization protocol. And it combines gentle heat, therapeutic oil application, and specific slow movements in a way that produces compounding benefits that none of these things achieves as well individually. This is how it works. About 30 minutes before you do any gentle exercise, whether that is a short walk around your neighborhood, some gentle chair yoga, working in your garden, or even just moving slowly around your home, warm a small amount of castor oil mixed with a few drops of peppermint essential oil by placing the bottle in a bowl of warm water for 5 minutes. Peppermint oil contains menthol, which creates a natural warming and tingling sensation on the skin and has been shown to improve local circulation by dilating surface blood vessels. And when you mix it with castor oil, you get both the deep anti-inflammatory penetration of the castor oil and the immediate circulation stimulating effect of the peppermint. Apply this warm oil blend to your calves, ankles, and knees with firm upward strokes for about 5 minutes. Then go ahead and begin your gentle movement. What happens during movement after this oil application is truly powerful. The increased blood flow from the movement combines with the vasodilating effect of the peppermint and the anti-inflammatory effect of the castor oil to create a therapeutic environment in your joints and vessels that accelerates healing and dramatically reduces post-activity stiffness. Many of my patients who have tried this tell me that they no longer experience the painful stiffening that used to follow any kind of physical activity, which had been causing them to move less and less, which of course was making everything worse. Because here is the dangerous cycle that so many seniors fall into, and I want you to understand this clearly. When circulation is poor and joints are stiff and painful, the natural instinct is to move less in order to avoid the pain. But moving less leads to weaker muscles, which provide less support to the joints, which increases pain, which leads to even less movement. And all the while, the reduced physical activity means the circulation in the legs gets even worse, the lymphatic system becomes even more sluggish, the inflammation builds further, and the morning stiffness becomes more severe. This is a spiral that catches millions of American seniors and pulls them down quietly and steadily. And the tragedy is that in many cases, it is entirely reversible with the right approach applied consistently. And that approach is exactly what I have been sharing with you today. Now, I want to be absolutely honest with you about something because I think you deserve that honesty, and it is part of the trust I try to build with everyone who watches my videos. These natural protocols work, and they work remarkably well for most people. But they work best when they are part of a comprehensive approach that also includes staying as physically active as your body allows, maintaining good hydration because dehydrated tissues are less elastic and more prone to stiffness, managing your weight because every extra pound puts additional stress on your knee joints, and working with your primary care doctor to ensure that any underlying conditions like peripheral artery disease, venous insufficiency, or inflammatory arthritis are properly diagnosed and managed. If your leg swelling is sudden and severe, if you have significant pain at rest, or if you notice skin color changes in your lower legs, please do not wait. Call your doctor or go to urgent care because these can be signs of a circulatory condition that needs medical attention. Natural protocols are powerful complements to medical care, not replacements for it. And I always want you to approach your health with both the wisdom of natural medicine and the safety of appropriate medical oversight.